No sooner had I installed this fixed camera than the Bowerbird obligingly came out and went to work. This is late in the afternoon. If you look, and perhaps with difficulty, down in the bottom right of the picture, you can see exactly the time of day when all this is taking place. The camera is set so that it will record up to 60 seconds and then we'll have a gap of 20 seconds or whenever there's further movement. I organised this particularly cleverly, you'll see, so that pointing directly as it is at the bower in the morning, I've managed to get a blast of sun all over the bower, so the morning is a little difficult to see. Nonetheless, this is interesting. I hope it's interesting. It may not be interesting. Goodbye. I thought it was necessary to take out some little segments which really don't have much in them, but I wanted to leave as much as is sensible so that you get a sense of the Bowerbird's life rather than just climaxes. You can see it's really pretty quiet and having a nice time tidying up things at the end of the day. In a moment at about 5 o'clock it started recording using infrared. There wasn't anything particularly useful there, so when this resumes in a moment in infrared, it is somewhere after 6 in the morning next day. The morning becomes something quite different. I'm sorry about the problems with the sunlight, but it's pretty dramatic stuff. Good night, Bowerbird. Here we are, and down in the bottom right-hand corner, it says it's 6:25 a.m. Still very quiet at this hour, and still able to do much as yesterday. Trouble hasn't arrived. That was a different species of bird, I think. As mentioned in a previous video, is not only a matter of placement of sticks, but also that by applying saliva it gives additional character, and as I understand it, it adds an iridescence in the visual field of the bowerbird, who can see things we can't see. And now the day is brighter. Still early. Time to round up some of our blue things. I have a terrible feeling that some of the long grasses that he has there, the long, fine ones, which he seems to like very much, are in fact tall Parramatta grass, which is a noxious weed. You see little gaps and jumps from time to time when a 60-second segment turns over to the next. The bower can be left alone at this hour. You may wish to get coffee, especially if it's the same time where you are as it is for the bowerbird at 6:49 a.m. We're back. movement detected. For many of these little bits of film, I have used the Auto Enhance button in iMovie, but when it gets on to very glary sections, that really doesn't work satisfactorily, so I've been trying to make some manual adjustments. Don't worry, it will get busier. Here comes company, or here comes trouble. I'm not going to make judgments in this voiceover about the relationship between these birds, but you'll see that there is a tolerance, and then there are those who are not so welcome. This one seems to be getting the full treatment. A jump of 20 seconds there. We're at 7:45 a.m. Never too early for romance. Although not everybody goes dancing at this hour. More birds, more interest at 7:49. And the sun is arriving on the lens, as you can see, to ruin the picture of the bower. I have, while making this, gone out and rearranged the camera as well as the water basin for them. So the camera will hopefully no longer have this glare problem. Although it's not possible then, with the new setup, to look straight into the bower. The problem being that the bower is positioned to look directly south, and the sun, of course, comes from across at the north. Nobody seems to care about the camera, as you've noticed. In earlier notes, I suggested that some of these green characters are juveniles, rather than females, and could well have been his peers, but oops, I'm getting into interpretation. I want to leave that to you. Pretty easy to interpret this situation. One reason I've persisted with this foggy lens situation in the morning is that in making this film on the 24th of April, I actually went out and took the camera card out and turned the machine off around 9 a.m. on the 24th, and I was so enthralled with some of these images that when I came back, that was not so enthralling. Well, I took a little longer than I expected, and when I came back around 10, to my horror, the bower had been utterly devastated. Some person or persons unknown had just lain it down to sticks. So I really thought this might be absolutely the whole story that we would have. Hence my leaving this difficult to watch section in. However, to my delight, several hours later, and after getting this underway, I took a look out through the window from where other pictures had been taken previously, and there the Bowerbird was putting it all back together again. May I just draw your attention, ladies and gentlemen, to the fact that it's about 8:10 on this day of the Bowerbird. He has been at work from before 6:30, and he will be at work until 5:30 or so, or beyond. I guess time flies when you're having fun. Or Bowerbirds dance when they're having fun.